California is home to rich and vibrant Native American culture. Hey, travel reporter John Bartell here. And in this special episode of Bartell's Backroads, we're celebrating Native American Heritage Month by sharing some of the stories from California's tribes. Now, I've spent years getting to know and earning the trust of many of these tribes, and I want to share some of those experiences with you. And we're going to start things off with the Karuk Tribe, who welcomed me to what they call the center of the earth to witness traditional dipnet fishing.
When you come to this area, you always wanted to say hi and say thank to the Creator for, giving us opportunity to come down and fish for your people and to have this land still.
Just before summer's end, the Karuk people make a pilgrimage to the center of the world by following the fish-filled waters of the Klamath River.
Creator has made it to where these fish show up at this time to feed the people up here doing ceremony. It's like a perfect balance. You kind of corral the fish, spook them in the net, and you got to turn it over. And when you turn it over, it locks them in the net.
It's here at Ishi Fishy Falls near the town of Samsbar where the Creator slows the fall run of salmon just long enough to celebrate the World Renewal ceremony.
And everybody that is involved with the ceremonies of fish, we find our identity again. We find our spirituality. We find ourselves.
In the Karuk language, Karuk means upriver or upstream people. And for generations, they've been risking their lives jumping on rocks and balancing on wood planks to fish some of the most turbulent waters on the Klamath River. Today, the Karuk are one of the last tribes in California to actively fish with traditional dipnet poles.
By way of ceremonies and creation stories. So that's what kind of keeps us here, and these poles right here have not changed.
Ronald Reed Sr. has fished more World Renewal ceremonies than he can remember. But this one, he won't forget.
Coinciding with the World Renewal ceremony is dam removal on the Klamath River.
Undam the Klamath! Bring the salmon home!
For the first time in 100 years, salmon can freely swim up the Klamath River. On August 28, 2024, construction crews broke through the fourth and final dam that blocked more than 400 miles of native fish habitat.
I fought so hard, fought so long. I feel so accomplished.
Let the river flow! Fish need water!
Ronald was among the many Indigenous people who spent the past 20 years fighting to remove the 4 dams that cause sickness, algae blooms, and fish kills down the river.
One of the big things that we're looking for right now is a rejuvenation, a revitalization of our culture, our people, and our society.
The Karuk are salmon people who fish the way of their elders, but now preserve the future of salmon through science.
For, I would say over 20 years, we've been doing scale sampling for aging fish. And we've been doing genetic sampling. And we're also doing disease studies.
The Karuk Tribe has their own fisheries department that collects scientific data on the health of salmon. And although the dams on the Klamath River were just removed, Kenneth says he's already seeing a change.
It's we have way less algae, cooler water, and yes, we do have some sediment in the water because of dam removal, but the fish seem healthy and they're silver, and this river is probably the best quality I've ever seen it.
Just north of Blythe, California, beneath the blazing hot desert sun, lies a mysterious art gallery best seen from the sky. It's known as the Blythe Intaglios. These massive figures carved into the earth tell ancient stories of the Chemehuevi people, who believe this isn't just artwork, but the birthplace of man. According to the Chemehuevi people, this sun-beaten stretch of desert near the California-Arizona border is the birthplace of man.
This is the creation story of the Azteca Mexica. So this is the most sacred site there is.
Etched in the rock-laden soil are massive ancient drawings, a story which is best seen from the sky or the peak of Big Maria Mountains.
Pointing in a certain direction for a reason, but this is Ometeo. There's the creator.
These are the Blythe Intaglios, or petroglyphs, and for most of their lives, Chemehuevi tribesman Alfredo Figueroa and his son Jesse Figueroa have been studying and protecting them.
There's 300 geoglyphs, according to the BLM archaeologists, from Needles, California in the north, down to Yuma, Arizona in the south.
Of all the petroglyphs in this area, the Blythe Intaglios are the largest. In total, 6 can be seen from the sky. Some are 170 feet long, or half the size of a football field.
When was this rock turned around? Over 10,000 years.
Alfredo says it was the ancient Aztecs who scraped away the darker colored rock on the surface to reveal the lighter color rock on the bottom. And those ancient Aztecs traced the images on the ground from what they saw in the sky.
The origin of these images are all in the cosmos.
According to Alfredo, constellations in the sky reflect the petroglyphs on the ground, and many of the images have links to cosmology and Greek mythology.
This guy's Orion, but here he's called Ometecutli.
Archaeologists and historians disagree about who made the petroglyphs, but Alfredo has spent years researching and writing books on the Blythe Intaglios' origins. He says he's even used his research in the court of law to help keep solar panel companies from developing on sacred land.
And we tried to protect them, and we won 3. We defeated 3 solar panels already.
Currently, these 6 petroglyphs at the Blythe Intaglios are protected by the Bureau of Land Management. And Alfredo and Jesse say this is a good thing. Now, everyone can experience the feeling of this sacred place.
When you drive into the valley, because this is a place where life started right here, so, and when you come out here, you feel even more.
In the shadows of the Sierra, Travertine Hot Springs in Bridgeport is a magical stretch of steaming pools and raw mountain beauty. Here, you won't just soak, you'll meet members of the Paiute Tribe who ask to tread gently in this sacred area.
One of the overseers of creation, his name was Isha. And Isha is the one that kind of established the way it is here today. And he left it for the people.
This is Paiute territory, but modern maps call it the Mono Basin. That was after European settlers pushed these people off their hunting grounds, their acorn groves, their fishing holes, and this place, where the water flows hot.
It's always been a very sacred place to the people throughout the years, because when Isha made this, he made it hot water on purpose. We got cold water everywhere, and many people lived in this area here. There was even many burial grounds that were nearby.
Today, this sacred spot is known as Travertine Hot Springs, but there's nothing sacred about it. It's managed by the Bureau of Land Management, and often it's treated like a bathtub by tourists.
They leave underwear laying around. They leave toilet paper blowing around in the bushes.
Travertine has gained a lot of attention from travel magazines in recent years, but this picturesque spot was desecrated by non-Native Americans many years before it became an Instagram hotspot.
This area here actually has a history of a big mine.
This is David Risley, geologist with the U.S. Forest Service in Bridgeport. He says the reason we call it Travertine Hot Springs today is because of the minerals that boil out of the ground.
Travertine is a type of limestone. That's a calcium carbonate.
Around 60 tons of travertine was mined here in the mid-1890s. It was used for construction in high-end buildings, like San Francisco's City Hall.
This particular material, being very rare, was used mainly as a facing indoors.
Decorative,
exactly.
Currently, there's no mining at Travertine Hot Springs. The Bureau of Land Management has set it aside as a critical area of environmental concern, but That concern doesn't protect this sacred land from people who don't see it as sacred.
No one seems to see it that way anymore. The native people do, but we've been so far removed from the picture that nobody seems to really care.
This land is here for everyone, and it should be seen and visited by everyone. But this land, like any land, should be respected.
And this ground, what's underneath us and what's all around us, it's like a certain point of spirituality that one comes here to be a part of.
Welcome back to Bartell's Backroads. We're meeting some of the Native American tribes in California. Now, the Klamath River is more than just a waterway to the Yurok tribe. It is the lifeblood of the tribe. So we hopped aboard a handcrafted redwood canoe to see the river the way their ancestors did. Before the dams were built, before the trees were logged, and before the fish were blocked from going upstream, the Klamath River was a highway for the redwood canoes, taking tribes from the Oregon border to the northern California coast.
We've taken these canoes places where they haven't seen canoes in like over 100 years, so it's been pretty special.
The Yurok were not the only Native American tribe to navigate the Klamath, but they were among the last.
There's only about 11 of these in existence. So this is one of the rarest vessels in the world right here.
Normally, Julian Markison wouldn't be taking a tourist like me for a ride in a Yurok canoe. The Othwayach, as they're called, is a sacred vessel. But last year, the tribe had a change of heart and started offering the public 2-hour tours down the Klamath.
You can't have people respect you if they don't know about you.
The Yurok people were once great canoe builders.
Usually this is just a mountain of chips. Well, that is right there.
But if you ask around the reservation today, there's really only one man carrying on the tradition.
I learned 14 years ago was the first canoe I built, and I've been around them ever since.
David Severns was in his 50s when he first learned to build canoes. Today, he can count the number of experienced canoe builders on one hand.
Our goal, our camp's goal, is to keep our kids out of trouble through culture.
David uses a mix of modern and ancestral tools to teach canoe building, but the most important part of a redwood canoe cannot be found on the reservation.
The tribe itself doesn't own big timber. That's been taken away by timber companies or lost through mismanagement of the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
The centuries-old redwood logs needed to build the Yurok canoes must be acquired from the government or private land. Either way, transporting those logs to Yurok country is very expensive.
So the opportunity to continue doing this is coming solely from the tours taking them rides. I mean, it's sad, but it's important for us.
Old-growth redwoods were once abundant along the Klamath, but as the Yurok were pushed off their land, sawmills and fish canneries took their place and took the resources that the river provided.
These silver-barked ones right here, they're the alder trees.
As Julian paddles along the bank, he explains, the river is in a constant state of healing itself.
When everything got cut down, they were the first ones to grow back, so they earned the name the Scab of the Woods.
Another wound that the alder trees are growing over is the damage from the Christmas flood of 1964.
Floodwaters continue spreading over southern Oregon and northern California, with many areas isolated from land transportation.
Considered to be one of the worst floods of its time, the waters wiped out roads, homes, and much of the industry in the area. Even the Yurok experienced major loss.
All the canoes, there's a couple dance sites and older buildings.
Just a few months after the flood, a tsunami hit Crescent City, which is the largest city in the area. The massive wave slammed into downtown, devastating 29 city blocks.
After that, everyone just kind of cruised out of Klamath, and they actually gave the land back to the Yurok tribe.
The land along the Klamath is healing, but the water is still sick.
Dams, they're kind of the biggest culprit in making the river sick.
Upstream, 5 hydroelectric dams slow the water in the Klamath. In years of drought,
Plumes of blue-green algae grow in the slow-moving water. Back in 2002, the algae caused a massive fish kill, suffocating tens of thousands of salmon.
Seemed like the end of times, really. And that sparked a big movement that, you know, we have to do something now or else nothing's gonna happen.
Perched on the rugged Humboldt County coast, Sue-meg State Park is more than just an ocean view and redwood trails. It's a window into Yurok history. You'll walk through traditional plank houses and villages that show how the tribe's ancestors lived in harmony with land and sea. You can't change the past, but you can make changes in the present.
This park is still super important and managed differently.
And change was made here.
We are walking towards Sue-meg Village, and Sue-meg Village was completed in 1989.
Long before state park interpreter Kessela McQuillan guided visitors into this clearing of Humboldt County redwood trees, the land was called Patrick's Point, named after homesteader Patrick Began.
He caused violence within the Yurok community.
This land was Kessela's ancestral home, a Yurok tribal village, but in 1864, Patrick Began brought in an armed militia and massacred villagers, ultimately making more room for homesteaders to take over Yurok land.
His name kind of stuck here, and so that's why it was named Patrick's Point State Park until it was changed.
It's called a genocide. That's what it was. And so I'm here to say the following. I'm sorry on behalf of the state of California.
It would take the Yurok tribe decades of petitioning and an apology by the governor to trigger change. But in September of 2021, Patrick's Point State Park was changed to Sue-meg State Park. Today, the park is a recreation of the Yurok village and the homes that once stood here.
Yurok traditional plank houses have a unique type of engineering. So the door would actually be a lot smaller than this to keep out predators.
After the massacre at Patrick's Point, Yurok all over Humboldt County were forced into reservations, and these traditional redwood plank houses were all destroyed.
And this would essentially be where we would live, where we would spend time with our families.
As reservations grew in the early 1900s, the government did their best to erase Yurok indigenous culture. Skills, lifestyles, beliefs, and languages were all nearly lost. But with the help of tribal elders, these plank houses were rebuilt to preserve the tribe's old way of living.
Everything's enclosed, and you don't have a lot of natural light within your house, and so here we would have the ability to take the planks off and on whenever you needed.
From the sweat lodge to the traditional dress house, visitors are free to explore the village. The purpose of Sue-meg State Park is to encourage visitors to re-examine our past and reflect on the suppressed culture of Indigenous people.
We just believe that redwood houses us and takes care of us and helps us transport each other, so it's a very complex system that we truly believe kind of relies off of each other. I just hope that visitors understand that this spot is special to us, and this is our home, and we're here for forever, and we'll continue to hopefully steward these places until future generations take over that.
In the heart of the Klamath Trinity Rivers, the Hoopa tribe keeps traditions alive that have been flowing for generations. We were invited to witness their canoe ceremony and sacred deer dance, a rare chance to see a living culture. Every 2 years, just before the salmon run in the fall, ceremony leader Merv George gathers members of the Hoopa tribe to perform what's called the white deerskin dance.
We've been doing these ceremonies since the beginning of time.
The ceremony involves a 10-day canoe ride down the Trinity River. The white deerskin dance is essential to the Hoopa culture. It's their way of welcoming the renewal of the world and the gifts that the Trinity River provides.
We're definitely known for one of the tribes that have been able to keep our culture going since day one.
Mainly due to the remoteness of their territory, the U.S. government never forced the Hoopa off their land. Unlike most Native American tribes, a treaty was signed in 1864, protecting the land that the Hoopa lived on, but it didn't protect the water that ran through it.
Since the dams went in, of course, it made it a lot easier to divert the water that normally should be coming down here to go somewhere else.
The problem is to get water from where it falls to where it will do the most good.
Starting in the early 1930s, a massive water reclamation and relocation effort known as the Central Valley Project began. Today, 18 dams and reservoirs on major rivers, including the Trinity, store water, create electricity, and transport that water to thirsty crops from Redding to Bakersfield.
New resources, new wealth, new markets to make America strong and keep America free.
The water project, however, didn't help the Hoopa.
We started discovering that, we're suffering some salmon population issues.
Prior to 1999, upwards of 90% of the cold, clean water from the Trinity River was ultimately stopped at the Trinity and Lewiston Dam, then diverted to the Sacramento River. That loss of the cold, clean water caused fish kills, like the one that happened in 2002.
When you're looking at 68,000 adult salmon belly up and just littering the sides of the bank, the only thing that I could think of in my mind was sort of the feeling that a lot of the natives had when they were watching all the buffalo get killed.
Merv George and the Hoopa Tribe have spent a great deal of time fighting for water rights in the Trinity, and they've made great progress. Today, 50% of the original water flows are released from the dam, but still, it's often not enough. In fact, the Hoopa must actually request from the federal government to release more water just to safely float the river for the white deerskin dance.
And this year being another drought year, I know how valuable this water is.
The agreement on water flows is not ideal, but the Hoopa were here before the dams, and they hope to be here if the day comes when those dams are gone.
Our old people tell us, no matter what, you keep these dances going.
Welcome back to Bartell's Backroads, special edition Native American tribes throughout California. Now, Ajumawi State Park is one of the only state parks in California that requires a boat to get to. It's also home to the Ajumawi people, a band of the Paiute River tribe, also known as the Water People.
Many who visit choose to kayak or canoe, starting from a small boat ramp just outside the little town of MacArthur. It's here that a narrow channel surrounded by grass and tule plants eventually leads you to open water.
Now, depending on what part of the park you want to visit, you're probably going to have to paddle upwards of 2 miles.
Ajumawi Lava Springs State Park is one of the nation's largest underwater spring systems. The crystal clear water literally boils from the ground and feeds a spider web of lakes, rivers, and creeks, ultimately saturating Shasta County's Fall River Valley.
Now, when you finally do reach the park, you're going to want to be respectful because this area was and still is the ancestral home of the Ajumawi people.
We're keepers of the land from the Creator. Ajumawi we're the water people, and some people call it where the rivers come together.
Virginia Mike is a cultural liaison with the Ajumawi people, which is a band of the Paiute River Tribe.
Yeah, I mean, look how beautiful it is right there.
Can you see the fish?
Virginia teaches younger tribe members like Antonio Mendoza about the Ajumawi culture and the importance of the water that helps isolate and protect the ancestral lands here.
The importance of the water to the Ajumawi people because it's life. Without water, there's no life.
As she walks Antonio and I along the lava rock trails, Virginia leads us to a shoreline. Here, you can still see ancient fish traps built by Ajumawi fishermen. They may look like piles of rocks, but those rocks are placed in such a way that trout and suckerfish could be pushed up or herded from deep water to shallow pools.
The opening are out there where we herd the fish in. And once we herd them into that pond there, then we close it down and they are herded further in, up here into the shallower areas where they're easier to catch.
We are not sharing the location of these fish traps to prevent disturbance, but Virginia wants visitors to know what those traps look like so boaters can avoid them.
This is what we're trying to protect because people try to drag their boats up into these traps to get out. And we're trying to explain to them, like, you're destroying, you know, our fish traps. You know, this has been here for years.
There's a long history of non-native people disturbing Ajumawi and Paiute River tribal territory. With the help of the US military, early settlers in the 1860s forced Ajumawi onto reservations so their land could be farmed and logged.
We were massacred for our land. You know, they put bounties out on our heads, you know, $100 a head.
Why aren't you in here asking PG and E to leave? They're the ones that are trespassing on the land, not the Indians.
Hold it right up in front of you.
By the early 20th century, much of the remaining Ajumawi land was acquired by Pacific Gas and Electric Company. They built hydroelectric dams, which ultimately blocked salmon from spawning up to Ajumawi water. In an effort to right a wrong, the government agreed to pay reparations to the Ajumawi and Paiute River tribes, who had land taken from them.
The money is compensation for land taken from the Indians' ancestors in 1853. Pearl and the other members of the Paiute River tribe intend to refuse the checks.
This 1970s documentary shows the conflicts that arose after the tribe learned they would only be paid 47 cents an acre for their land. The pitifully low price was based off the going rate for property back in the 1850s.
I couldn't even buy bread with that 47 cents an acre. That's what I say right now.
In 1975, California State Parks acquired 6,000 acres of private land and former Ajumawi territory and then turned it into the current-day park.
It's a bad type of a genocide that happened to our people. I can't change it. The only thing I can do is move forward to try to make things better because I have my grandkids that I bring out here.
Virginia hopes that one day the ancestral land will be returned to her people. But for now, she uses the park to teach the tribe's culture to younger generations.
You know, it's a great honor and great privilege to be out here for me, you know, to learn and gain this knowledge, you know, and learn about my ancestors and what life was all about.
If you visit the park, you will find campsites and barbecues, but you'll also see the remnants of a sacred land, once inhabited by the water people, the Ajumawi tribe.
It's a traditional place, you know, for my people. It's our culture, you know. We're not cattle herders, we're fish herders.
Well, thanks for watching Bartell's Backroads and letting me introduce you to some of the Native American tribes throughout California. I hope it's inspired you to take a little road trip of your own. I'm John Bartell. Hope to see you on the Backroads.